Hello everyone. Now I was going to upload something else, but this video just came out to me, so I just decided to talk about it. So that's why this video is late. If you haven't heard, well, I mean you probably have. There was an incident that happened recently and it involved I think 4 police officers and one of them had their knee on the back of a black guy's neck. And this act led to the death of the black guy, George Floyd, because he suffocated. And so people are not happy. Now, I understand that what happened was terrible and that the officers should be charged. I'm not going to argue about that. I feel like most people would agree on that. The problem is that because of this one situation, there are people who are going to start saying that police brutality is a big issue facing black people when it is not at all. And I know these people are going to try and show a handful of police brutality incidents to try and say that it is, but if you understand numbers, you would know that these incidents make up less than 1% of the police population. And if you don't know, there are more than 800,000 police officers. But let's get into this video.
There are over 50 million police encounters per year, and it's sad that people love to raise bait with this stuff. Even if 500,000 cases where a cop is proven in court of law is guilty, it's only 1%. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty, even cops. Listen, I don't know what this comment was supposed to mean, but it was really stupid. And I'll tell you why it's a stupid idea to have. There are a lot of cases where cops are woefully incompetent, where that 1% doesn't have to happen. So whether it's 1%, whether it's 2%, whether it's 10%, it doesn't fucking matter to me. You have a job to do. And if you kill someone on the job, then you should be held accountable. If it's your own incompetence, it doesn't matter if it's 10%. It doesn't matter.
Actually, it does, Abba, because you're going to talk about police brutality in this video and essentially say police brutality is a big deal and it's something that people should be worried about. And like I said, I think that police do crimes should be held accountable. So I don't disagree with that. But when we talk about this, you bounce around police brutality and police accountability. And so your points go from being right to being wrong. This guy pretty much says that police brutality is not a big issue, but because he said that, you are now going from police brutality to police accountability.
Bro, I'm so shocked at how incompetent these people are. And I'm so shocked that not only are they incompetent, but they're not held accountable.
See, when you say that, you make it seem like this is all police officers. So the numbers do start to matter. But if you were talking about police accountability, you might have a point. What I'm saying is that you should have focused on police accountability and just that.
About a week ago, I went to fill up my propane tank, and there's a police car that went right next to me. And one of the passenger policemen, he said, "Hey, what's up, Preach?" And I'm like, "Hey, what up, man? Everything good?" "Yeah, it's just that, I heard that you don't like us." I'm like, "Well, I'm not the only one that don't like you. But yeah, no, I'm not a fan of yours. I'm not a fan of your organization. Don't take personal. It's your organization." "Yeah, but we haven't even met." I'm like, "Okay, no, but we haven't met, but I've met a lot of your peers, and we don't agree with a lot of things, right?"
Why have you met a lot of his peers? I don't know about you, but I haven't met the police since 2009, maybe. And that was because I was doing something wrong. Also, you guys live in Canada, so I can't say how bad the police are over there. But here in America, we don't have a police brutality issue. Now, we might have a police accountability issue, but that's really it. To say that we have a police brutality issue is to say that we have a lightning issue, which is just dumb.
You're probably a cool dude. You're probably a cool officer. And of course, it's not all officers, right? It's not.
He's going to take back that statement, just letting you know.
But where are you when your colleague puts his knees on someone's neck?
I don't know. Probably at a different police station.
Where are you and what do you say when we get pulled over for nothing?
I don't know again. I can't speak for Canada, but nothing like that happens here. And if it does, it's really rare. And why is it that this type of stuff happens to everybody but me? Like to everyone else who aren't around me. They have had a bad experience with the police. But for some reason, it just doesn't happen to me. Maybe it's because I'm really lucky, or maybe it's because it's really rare.
When your colleagues do it, they do the call, but you stand there and do nothing.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Remember the anonymous argument that I was talking about in my last video? And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, the anonymous argument is when somebody says, these are the same type of people who would do this. Basically generalizing people, and the reason why it doesn't work is because all it takes is for one person not to do what you say they do. And there are videos of police officers stopping other police officers from acting up. And that's all it takes for this argument to be taken, folded, and wrapped up with a nice little bow and be thrown in the trash can.
And when you watch the video, you got this man on top of this other man, and the other ones not doing anything. And that's the problem. They didn't do anything.
Or maybe they're not good themselves. Did you ever think of that instead of just assuming that if this was any other police officer, that it would go exactly the same way?
Exactly. When things are getting rough, they don't do or say anything or hold accountable their peers, their brothers, because you know it's a brotherhood. And that's why they don't say nothing, because the brotherhood is strong.
They do actually hold them accountable. Maybe not in this case, but many do. And the thing is, they don't have the same mindset as you. You probably never thought about what it's like to be a police officer, so it is understandable why you don't understand their mindset. Like me, I don't have that mindset, and if I was a police officer, I wouldn't have it. To me, it's more about good people versus bad people. It's not really about a brotherhood or whatever. But there are many reasons why people become police officers. Some want to help other people. Some want to be heroes. Some didn't have any other option. Some wanted a simple job. And some did it because they wanted to have power over people. But only some. What I'm saying is that most of them don't become police officers just because of some brotherhood. And you can say that it happens over time. But really, they just have their friends back. It's like when you go to school. You don't have the school's back. You have your friends back. And you don't know if these people were friends. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. The thing is, police officers have a very diverse set of minds. And not everybody is about this brotherhood or whatever. Or did you forget that there are hundreds of thousands of people and that they can have a different opinion and work the same job?
So all those cops that I'm talking to in the street that say, yo, you know, it's not all of us. Yes, somehow, some way, it's all of you. Because when it's time to step up, you don't.
I don't know if you know or not, but you're generalizing. And it's people like this who separate police officers and civilians just because of one thing. They are so far from logic that they are generalizing, when normally they would have been like, that's a bit too far. But I don't know what happened that they would say something so stupid without giving it a second thought. And Preach, don't you think that if it was really that bad, that there would be a higher rate of police brutality? And don't you think that there would be at least 20 innocent people a day being killed by police? And before you say that 20 person per day is a huge number, well, that's the number you would get if 1% of the police population were just evil. And that number would add up to 7,000 a year. And that's only 1%, but the number is way lower than that. But what I'm saying is that, don't you think it would be like that if police officers didn't care about citizens and cared more about some brotherhood?
So yeah, I'm gonna say it's all of you. It's all of you. If you're not with us because you're supposed to serve and protect, you did an oath on this when you started working. If you don't go on that, then it's all of you. All of you.
Oh, look, Preach is trying to take back what he said. Maybe you guys should have wrote a script or something. That way you guys wouldn't contradict a previous statement. And don't try to say it's all of them and then say the opposite. Say one thing and that thing only.
So yeah, I'm gonna say this. There are good cops out there, but it's all of you. Because all of you shut the fuck up when it's time to talk.
Wait, but that would mean that they were all bad cops. Because if you see something bad happening and you don't say anything, wouldn't that make you bad? You can't say there are good cops and then say you all do this bad thing. Again, you guys should have wrote a script or something. That way you guys wouldn't say something so stupid.
No, there are always bad cops of all races, but the media loves to paint it as black and white. Everyone makes a mistake at work, and cops have less than a second to make split-second decisions. On purpose is one thing. You guys should do a ride-along. Bruv, I'm tired of people acting like what police officers have to do is the most stressful job in the world. Calm the fuck down. You guys have tremendous amount of powers. That means that you have tremendous amount of responsibility.
I get that you guys were doing a live stream, but why did you guys edit this into the video? It makes you guys sound dumb. Abba pretty much says being a police officer is not the most stressful job, which it isn't the most stressful job. But then he gives reasons to prove his point, but the reasons he gives do the opposite. Saying that police officers have a lot of power and responsibility, if anything, proves that their job is really stressful. And if I didn't have any responsibility and power, I wouldn't be that stressed, but that's just me.
That's the way it works.
And who put you there? Was it a poll? Did you have to take it out of the hat? What did you shoot? What did you get today? Oh, I got janitor. What did you get? I got cops today. No.
You chose the job.
You chose the job.
There you go.
So you have to know exactly. It's like, it's very difficult to be a teacher. Concur, but I didn't study in that. You did. You went there. You have to, if you're willing to take the job, you're willing to take the risk, you're willing to take the accountability.
That's the problem with these live streams. It is that your points don't stay consistent. Abba ignored what the guy said and focused on the stressful part. Then Preach starts talking about police accountability. First of all, just because you chose that job doesn't mean you're not going to mess up. And yes, police should be held accountable. But the police officer who was on his neck has already been charged as the making of this video. And also so did the other 4 police officers, or 3. Update. Apparently there has been an autopsy, or 2. The first one said that the guy died because of his heart, but the second one says that he died because of the police officer putting his knee on his neck. Either way, the police officer is going to jail, and the other 4 might go as well, but we'll have to wait and see.
If you guys aren't aware, I saw this interesting post from John Jones. What he said, as a jiu-jitsu expert, the stranglehold that they put on that man is a form of...
Yes.
Right? They didn't just cut the oxygen to his lungs, they also cut the blood flow to his brain.
Yes.
Look, I know that not everybody watches UFC or know about fighting, but all chokeholds that involve the neck not only cuts out the oxygen from your brain, but it also blocks the blood from your brain. You guys should have just read what he said instead of trying to remember what he said. That way you guys wouldn't say something so dumb.
But what they did to this man is so incredibly painful that most jiu-jitsu experts would never practice that on someone else.
No, of course they wouldn't. It's not as effective as the rear naked choke, which can kill people much faster and much easier.
That's how dangerous it is. They did that for 6 minutes. They put just enough pressure on his neck where he could barely get some words out, but couldn't really fully oxygenate his blood or his brain.
First of all, it's not that dangerous, because if it was, he would have died faster. I think what you guys mean is that it was painful. And why are you guys acting like this was some special technique that the police officer did because he knew that it would do that? He probably did that because he thought it would hurt really bad, if we are being honest.
I don't know if police brutality has gotten worse, but I do know it's getting filmed.
That's what I know.
I do know it's getting
And
filmed.
that's what's scary. Imagine back then how it was.
Well, be glad that you live in the present, because police brutality is no longer a big deal in America. If you're gonna protest, then protest for justice, not for police brutality, because the likelihood of you running into a bad cop is very low, and that adds up if you stay out of trouble.
And when you have continuous experiences like that over time, and everyone says, just comply. Just comply, guys.
Listen, in the month.
If you comply, nothing will happen to you. Well, the reality is I'm human. And the reality is after a while, sometimes it gets to be too much. I want to go about my day undisturbed. And you keep coming after me and bothering me about some bullshit. I'm riding a bicycle on my way home, and you pull up next to me and ask me if I'm getting in trouble, and you want to shake me down and search me. Why do you have the right to touch me without any probable cause? What the fuck is this?
Why does this keep happening to you? Don't you think that it might just be bad luck? Or that you are doing something that is bringing this bad attention to you? Like, this never happens to me. It seems like people who don't like police officers avoid thinking about what were they doing, and instead act like the police officers just are out to get them. Like, I have a family member that whenever the police pulls him over for drunk driving, he always talks about how they were just a bunch of bad cops and stuff. But he's the one driving while drunk, and he's the one that drives bad, either on purpose or an accident. I don't know why he does that, but he always tries to make it seem like it is the police's fault. And I feel like that is the same mentality we have here. I don't know. I've never been pulled over or been in a car that has been pulled over, and I have never had a police officer ask me what I am doing or that can he search me.
Listen, I'm gonna say this, all right? Right now, like, if you're a black man and you live in America and you haven't been to jail, you don't have a gun, and you don't film yourself all the time, I'm gonna call it irresponsible.
Stop trying to fearmonger people. The chances of you running into a bad police officer is really low, and even more low if you stay out of trouble. So the best advice is to stay out of trouble. It could still happen, but lower your chances. That is all. Finally, this video is over. It took me so long. I hated making this video. I wanted to upload something else, but they made this video. I wanted to respond to it as fast as possible. And because of that, it took so long. So, I'm sorry. Well, now hopefully I'll be able to make a video talking about something that I want to talk about. That's all I really wanted to say. And bye.